flying high in the polls and refusing to back down from his criticism of Senator John McCain. Well, one high-profile veteran has something to say about that. Here's Montel Williams.
You just crossed the line. If you think you have the right, when you never put on a uniform, your children didn't put on a uniform, you haven't fought to defend this country, you think you have the right to besmirch the character of a true American hero in John McCain?
There's Montel Williams. What upset you so much about this?
John, I'm gonna tell you, I was in Tennessee, really having 3 days off at my in-laws' house. I got up in the morning, and when I heard what he had said the day before, first off, I've never really agreed with Senator McCain's policies or politics. Really, it's been tough for me with him. But since I graduated from the Naval Academy, I've respected that man. And I respected the fact that he had, what he went through at the Hanoi Hilton, we can't even describe. And for someone to make a comment that disparaged him and make in that joking little snide, snarky, whatever he calls himself, remark, when Donald Trump made that statement, I literally went livid. I was in my living room, I'm yelling, I'm screaming. I picked up the phone, I called my friend John Franks. I said, John, he goes, dude, why don't you stop and just do a video? And I went, okay. That's exactly what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure he understands that enough is enough. And right now, again, enough is enough. I've been listening to you guys all night long. I watched Anderson Cooper. I was watching people on there trying to make excuses for him. I watched your last segment with the woman that was on with Ms. Navarro, trying to make excuses for him. I don't know why we are trying to make excuses for a person who is nothing more than a reality TV host, who's done nothing but denigrate the campaign and this election process by bringing it down to this device.
But so far he's winning. He's #1 in the polls.
Yes. And you know what? That's really neither here. Remember, 8 years ago today, no one even knew President Obama's name. Okay? So it doesn't matter where he sits in the polls. And there are certain people who are pushing this just to make sure that they can get their divisive, ignorant message out through his mouth. But, enough is really enough. You had two incredible veterans on there with you a little earlier tonight that I think said it as clearly as it could possibly be said. Ye who get 5 deferments, ye who were in nightclubs running around chasing skirts at your own admission in your own book during the time that John McCain was being tortured on a daily basis, you have no right to even open your mouth. Honestly, and I agree with them. I'm going to tell you something. It will be my work, along with a lot of the veterans that I know. I'm going to be pushing really hard to make sure that this man never, ever, ever sets foot in the White House, because if he does, that means he's the commander-in-chief, and you cannot be the commander-in-chief with this disregard and blatant disrespect for soldiers.
All right, well, let's talk about that, because I asked the two gentlemen who were on, who I consider to be heroes, about John. Does Donald Trump have a point when he talks about John McCain's record on veterans? And it's just a question. Could he have a better record? Could he be doing
could all of Congress have a better record? Could G.W. Bush have a better record? Could President Obama have a better record? Could currently, Secretary McDonald, could he have a better record? Of course he could. Could we be doing something right now to stop the 22 soldiers a week that kill themselves, a day that kill themselves? Yeah, we can be doing a lot better job. But what we don't need to do is use them as some joke, some reference point to see if you can get applause from a crowd, and you do something. Here's what really bugged me about this time. This is a man that right now people say they want to have as a president. If he's sitting at those same nuclear talks a week ago and made some snarky, stupid remark like that, and everybody left the table, where would we be? This is the guy you want to put in the White House, a guy who we already know has shot so far from not the hip, he's shooting from the toe right now. And he's shooting so low that I think if he had made any of those comments like he did about illegal immigrants in this country, calling another country's group of people rapists, thugs, and thieves, if he had disparaged another country's religion like he possibly did in his conversation right after this with Frank Lutz, it's an abomination to me that we can even consider putting this man in charge.
All right, I want to ask